get that call, man, and or they'll come to the unit and tell you. And now you want to know, how did it happen? So you go to the chapel, they give you a phone call. Then your mom, then your family tell you, your brother was killed. And then one of the most difficult things in the world is you can't go to the funeral.
Prison Stories 101, man. We got what I would like to say. We don't use the word lightly, but we got a legend on sitting down and coming through, man. First and foremost, the way we like to do Prison Stories 101, we like to find out who we're talking to, the who, what, when, where, and why. So for those that don't know, some may see and say, I know exactly what it is. But for those that don't know, let them know who you are and how much time did you serve overall.
My name is Ronald Fisher. I'm out of South Central LA, and I did 33 years in federal prison.
Now that's, for those that don't understand what that means, 33 years, I think the last person we had on here, the longest time that we've had 25, 14, 30, 31. And 33 might be you might have capped it out.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know, you might have capped it out. So we don't say that lightly. 33 years, man, that's, most kids don't even live to see 21. So you didn't live maybe a couple of lifetimes in there.
Right.
When we also speak on the who, again, on the streets, they know you as?
Well, in Los Angeles, they know me as Big Fish from 7-6, East Coast Crip. In Vegas, they know me as Big Fish. And in Texas, they know me as Ron.
Okay.
L.A. Ron.
Well,
all around the nation, they know I got different names, but Ron and Fish is pretty much the two.
I definitely. For the crime that they locked you up for, what was the crime itself?
Well, I had 9 counts. I had like 5 of money laundering, like 4 of possession with intent to distribute. Not possession that I had it. They said I was intent to possess it whenever I got it. And that was so crazy. And I had a life in 5 years for a gun that I didn't have. Well, I had it, but it was for another case. And they put it together and say it was an ex-felon with a firearm.
All right, so normally, whenever we hear about life sentences, it normally goes in for like, capital murder, there's things like that. That's not involved here. This is just
a non-violent drug case.
A non-violent drug case.
Yes, sir.
What were the drug laws back then, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I was incarcerated for crack cocaine. They say I was in a crack cocaine conspiracy.
So when we speak on the who, of course, thank you for advising who you are, but we talk about the crime itself and we speak on who was possibly affected by the said crime. Who would you say, with me asking that question, who would you say was affected by the alleged crime that they said was?
Well, the black community and the Latino community and a little bit of the white community.
Now we're going to speak on the where. You say you got convicted in
Fort Worth, Tarrant County.
Tarrant County. Where did you all serve? Where did you serve time?
Well, I served time in 6 penitentiaries. I started off in Terre Haute, USP. Then I went to Atlanta, USP. Then I went to Leavenworth, USP. Then I went to Lompoc, USP. Then I went to Pollock, USP. And then Atwater. Sorry about that. Yeah, Atwater.
And as far as the win, what year did you go?
From 91 to 2023.
2023. So you just recently
yes.
Come home.
I did a year and a half else.
Okay. Now, we try to get to the why. And when I say the why, meaning, for every young man who, of course, is involved in, let's say, a life of crime or the streets or the gang culture, we try to understand the why that person even involved themselves. Was it lack of parenting? Was it needing a sense of belonging? Was it somebody who pulled you in? Can you break down the why you even went down that life of gang activity, criminalization, whatever?
Well, to be truthful, man, I wanted to take care of my mom. I grew up in a single parent home. And my mom used to always say, if I had this amount of money, if I had that amount of money, I would be able to do this. And she put that in my head ever since I was a kid. And I never liked to see my mom cry. I never liked to see my mom, you know, ask for things. And my brothers and them, they really wasn't into, you know, giving it to her or helping her get it. And I picked up a lot of traits from my mom. My mom always carried a gun. And I seen all that. And, you know, I was kind of like affected by her swagger, I would say swagger, or her lifestyle. And I picked up that shrewdness from her, and I just wanted to please my mom, and I think I did that.
Wow. You didn't mention your father. What was your father at this time? If you knew, even if you knew.
Next question.
Okay, we're gonna do that because, man.
Well, actually, my father lived in Grand Prairie, but I met him on the phone, but I never seen him in person. He lives in Grand Prairie, but he's from Sewali.
Did your mother ever give you the story about that, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, my mother had 6 different baby daddies, so.
You know, when you say a mother puts it on her son as far as speaking, like what she wanted, what she would like to have, it's interesting that I know a lot of women who may watch this may not understand when they speak that out, how much a son wants to make sure they go without. As far as entering the gang culture, because you were how old when you got sentenced in 91?
Oh, I was 27.
27.
26, 27.
I'm assuming you had run-ins with the law before.
I've never been to penitentiary, no.
Really?
Yeah, it was my first time going to penitentiary. I've been to county jails, but never to the penitentiary.
You're affiliated with the Crips, correct?
Exactly.
Did you go as far as were you within the Crip organization before or after prison? As far as
I've been labeled as a Crip ever since I was in elementary school.
So comes the question as far as, you know, there's always that initiation as far as seeing what the gang culture was. Can you explain the history of as far as the Crips at the time of you joining and maybe who pulled you in, if anybody?
Well, Raymond Washington was from my neighborhood. Cripping started on the east side of South Central Los Angeles, which is started in my neighborhood. It started on 68th, 74th, 73rd, and a little bit past that. But Raymond Washington was one of the 2 people that I wanted to see when I was growing up, which was Muhammad Ali and Raymond Washington. I seen both of those.
Oh, you seen Muhammad?
Yes, sir.
Gee.
When I was a kid.
Amazing. For you, that young, what was the allure of someone like a Raymond?
Raymond had a way of being, he was like a god to us. And you just hear his name and everybody would say his name and everybody would say, that's Raymond. And you would be like, is that Raymond? And they'd be like, that's Raymond. And he was just like a celebrity in our community. You know, he was known, you know, for fighting. He was known for getting down to business, and he was a leader. And, you know, I'm like the next generation from Raymond. He's from my neighborhood, and he's used to be around in my neighborhood. We seen him like every day.
So back then, of course, you know, a lot of, you know, people watch movies. They get this glorified idea of like how gang culture is. For you yourself, was it a situation like, you know, someone bringing you in, you getting jumped in? Were you looking for leadership? Were you trying to be a leader, or were you just trying to be part of the cool kids? Was it just a way to like, all right, act out, you know what I'm saying, from your living situation? Who brought you in, and what was it that got you, you know, stuck in it?
Well, I had a very disciplined family I have older brothers than me, and I wanted to be like my brother. I have a brother named Larry Marlboro. They called him Gangster Larry. And I always wanted to be like Larry. And Larry was one of the guys that everybody looked up to as being a gang member, and that was my brother. So I took on little attributes from him. I took on attributes from a lot of guys in my family and on the street that I lived on, because we had our own gang on our street, and then we merged with another gang.
If you were to simplify, let's just say in one word, for that, you know, from elementary school to, you know, getting locked up, as far as how you moved around with the gang culture, what would you like, if you were to give it one word, like how would you explain your time?
Well, actually, we emerged with the drug business because a lot of drug dealers, they didn't have the muscle and they didn't have the guts to spread their drugs around the community. So they gave it to the Crips and the Bloods.
That's right. And for those that don't know, was it always a war between Crips and Bloods? Was it always that?
No. It was, it just depends where you went. You know, if you went the wrong place or you was at the wrong place at the wrong time. But, back in the days, Tookie and Raymond and all, Tookie and Jamel and all guys, they used to be at the parks with big muscles and bulldogs, and everybody liked it the way, they carried themselves with the overalls and different things like that, man. It was in the 70s.
Yeah. All right. 27 years old, they come down on you. The day that they came down on you, did you see it coming? And if not, can you explain how that day went as far as them arresting you for?
Well, actually, it's by me being a guy that's in the streets that I wasn't scared to loan people money or either listen to their dreams. I was in a barbershop in Dallas. The barbershop in Arlington, and this guy used to always ask me to listen to his music. And he told me that, do I know Dr. Dre? And I said, I can get your music, Dr. Dre. So one day he called me and said, man, the feds in here bragging, said they're going to get you. And then he said, so it's a black FBI agent out of Fort Worth, Texas. He said he going to get you. And I'm like, yeah, that's how I found out they was looking for me. Well, trying to get me.
Oh, you believed him when he told you that?
Yeah, I did. Why not? I always, actually, I used to live in Vegas before I came here, so we always give tips and stuff. So you give tips and advice. You get tips to your barber when you cut your hair, right?
That's facts.
And I used to give him a big tip, so he gave me a tip. Tip of advice.
Did you switch up anything? Did you not want to leave for a word, switch up? Like, were you still active? Did you try to change anything after he gave you that tip, heads up?
I never got caught in Los Angeles. And them was most of the violentest police in the world. I knew I wasn't going to get caught out of town because they didn't catch me in LA. I know they can't catch me out of town. So I didn't fear anything. I just kept doing business as usual.
So when they finally did come down on you, can you explain what that day was? If anything was just a normal day for you or just?
Well, actually, they never came down. They was waiting in my house. I lived in Los Salinas, and they was out there all day waiting on me to come home. And my wife called me and said, "When time you coming home?" That was a key word to let me know that don't come home. And I got with my lawyers, and we went and talked to them, and they said that I had an indictment out of Denver, and I went to Denver on a subpoena. And before I got the subpoena, when I went to get the subpoena, they gave me an indictment for Fort Worth.
Oh, that's how they do it. How long was your trial?
I guess it was like a month.
Your lawyer, you had him paid. Yeah, he was already paid.
I had one of the best lawyers in Dallas. His name was Robert Rose.
So overall, outside the conviction, how would you say he did? Or was his evidence just too heavy?
Well, ain't nobody going to jail for you. They're not going to fight the government for you. He's an officer of the court. A lot of people don't understand a lawyer is just an officer of the court. I don't care how much money you give him. I should have took a public defender. Then I could have saved my money and then hired an appeals attorney.
So to say that, the evidence against you as they presented in court, you're like, yeah, it's kind of dead to rights, or is it more so like, it could still be, this could be anybody. Okay, if they had evidence against me, I wouldn't have went to trial. That's facts.
See what I'm saying? I went to trial. I knew I was looking at life. I knew that I would have to face life sentence, and I still went to trial because guess what? Snitches get stitches. Yeah. And, in the 90s, that's what we was pretty much built upon.
Were they wanting more of the criminal organization back then? Were they like, hey, do we want to hear?
Yeah. Well, they offered me the same cup of coffee they asked everybody else. They say, look here, man, this cup of coffee is black. We could put some creamer in it for you. I told them I don't drink coffee.
For real. For the average man, again, people that watch this program, and most people haven't some of them haven't seen a day in prison. To have a jury of peers, I'm assuming it was a jury of peers, or
there's no such thing as a jury.
Yeah, that word is just off.
Thing, yeah,
I don't know these.
There's no such thing.
But it was a 12-man jury, I'm assuming.
It was 11 whites and 1 black.
Oh yeah, that'll do it. Once they say guilty, What goes through your head as a young man, 27 years old, with a wife and any children at the time?
Yeah, I was married. I was married.
Any children at all?
Yeah, I got 6 kids now, but I only have 5 back then.
Okay. What goes through your mind once that guilty verdict comes through in regards to, this is your life?
You know what? That's a tough question right there because it happened so long ago. And a lot of times the judge and the prosecutor, they want to see your reaction. But sometimes you be prepared for stuff like that. It's nothing to get prepared for, but you got to be prepared. When you get a no bond, that's pretty much telling you not going home. That's why Puffy in jail right now. See, one thing about the United States, you can be walking around one day free. The next day, you be looking at charges. And they hard to beat. Once the feds put their hands on you, you're going to get some time. That's why he didn't beat all the counts, but he beat the most serious counts. But I lost all 9 counts.
Yeah. Did it register to you when they gave you the time frame? The life plus, you said it was
life plus 5.
Life plus 5. Did that register to you when they said that, or are you like, all right, well, I'm gonna just hurry up and do this appeal and go?
Well, I'm gonna give you the game. The game is to the judge try to make you think bad about yourself. So he give him with this story. Well, you was a menace to society. You was a kingpin. You all these things. This is the type of things we do to people like you. Okay, if I was all these things, you would have charged me in my indictment with all these things. Don't say them now. I'm in jail for possession with intent to distribute. I'm not in jail for being a RICO or 841 or CCE. Yeah. Those have built inside enhancement. I just got a possession that somebody else said they sold me drugs. So when you look at the charges, now the judge got to make it feel like he's giving you this sentence justified.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to justify based on those charges.
Exactly.
Life. But again, I remember it was a war on drugs back then.
It was a war on blacks. It wasn't
war
war
on blacks back then.
Yes,
we're talking
sir.
91 and
yes,
not facts.
Still a war.
So a lot of young men were made out to be the example to hopefully deter other young men out here to, you see what could happen. Do you remember, I know it's been a while, 33 years. Do you remember your first day going in? Do you remember?
You mean I think going into prison?
You're going into prison.
Oh, yeah. One day they kept me in the hole, right? Because of some black guard politicked against me. Because a lot of the guards in Fort Worth, they kind of like knew me a little bit, liked me. And one of the black guards got to hating on me in the visiting room one day and locked me up. So I'm in the hole waiting to go to prison after I got found guilty. And one day, one of the guys came and said, hey, Fisher, you leaving in the morning. So I had to prepare myself. Well, I was already in the hole, so I knew that I was going to go to penitentiary anyway. So he came and told me, hey, Fisher, you going to prison tomorrow. So they flew me out in a jet to Oklahoma.
Once you, and which the first one?
The first place I went to was Terry Hut, Indiana. USP.
Okay. Did you have a heads up before you got in there as far as anybody telling you, hey, this was going to be when you get in there? Did you kind of understand what you're about to walk into?
Well, actually, California is in every prison in the United States in the feds. So when I got there, I just looked for the guys that was from LA. Mm-hmm. So they was already telling me, yeah, man, this guy's name this. And I didn't really know that it was guys had been in jail like 8 or 9 years before I got there. And I was only 26. Yeah. So you had white collar guys like bank robbers was there before I got there. So when I got there, we already had a big family and we were in Terry Hut. So I met a lot of guys from LA and that's how come it was kind of cool with everything. But Terry Hut is the gang capital of the United States in prison.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to ask. The gang culture, as far as does the stripes that you obtained in the streets, does it follow you a reputation into prison, or you're starting ground one? It don't matter what you did out there, who you affiliate with it, and now it starts right now.
Well, it depends what area of Los Angeles is you from, because like I told you, gangbanging started in my neighborhood. So When I got to prison, all the other gangs that was there, they was from the east side or west side, Vegas, San Diego, and all those places. Los Angeles have a reputation of having some of the tougher guys inside of South Central Los Angeles.
So the respect kind of already just once they ask you who you're affiliated with, they'll ask you where you from.
Exactly.
And once you say where you're from, it's automatically understood. No matter, it's just understood
in the gang culture.
Okay. A lot of people who watch this program, they don't understand what back then what the gang war was. Can you speak on how it was in prison based on let's just say Crips and Bloods, how that flowed? Or was it different pockets of Crips and different pockets of Blood, or was it all Crips, all Bloods? And how was the day-to-day interaction? Because this is back in the 90s to where it was at its height where you had to really, really prove yourself.
Well, actually, they changed the law in 89 and they just started locking us up to like 90 or 80. I think changed in 87, but they started locking us to like 88, 89 when they targeted our community. But just to talk about guys, dudes recognize real guys. And when you come in, you from a gang and you got money, that even takes you over the top. I mean, you can go to the store, you got nice stuff, and everybody's like, man, that dude still got money. So, yeah.
Did you come in with money?
Yeah, I still have some money.
And I'm glad you speak on that, because one thing we talk to other people about, they speak on reputation, they speak on fighting. They don't speak on the money aspect as far as actually when you come in and you are of money or you have some money.
Right.
How far does that get you in prison? And how does money work for you in prison? Or does it work on the outside?
Well, actually it works good because federal prison have a thing called Unicor. And if your money run out, then a lot of times you go to Unicor because you can make $300-$400 a month.
Mm. What is Unicor? What is that?
It does. Well, a lot of the jobs that Americans need or have is inside the federal prisons. Mm. They make everything. Textile plants, they do Border Patrol cars, they do everything. But a lot of inmates does the jobs. Okay. I never worked for Unicor though.
So basically, if you run out of money, you don't have money, you go into, you're working.
Yeah, you can go to the kitchen or you can go to Unicor, but a lot of people go to Unicor because you're making money. You can spend like $200-$300 a month. You're making that a month working in the store. I mean, working in the Unicor.
Now you had mentioned you had served time with some notables. For those people, those household names that people just know in gang culture, or just in general in pop culture, who were some of the people that you actually walked the unit with?
Well, you name them. I know all of them. I give you a few names. Yeah, I'm gonna start from Buffalo, New York. There's a guy named Sly Green, one of the smartest guys I ever met. I met Boy George out of New York, Khan. I met a lot of guys out of DC Tone, Mario. I knew Rayford from the streets. I could go all through the cities. Guys from Philly, JBMs, Black, Philly Black, Freeway Rig, Leonard Pelletier, Suniati Akoli, Doc Holliday. I can go on all the way, man. It's just so many guys that I met. Little D out the Bay, Mac Dre, James Beasley, guys out the Grape Streets, Bonnie Hunter, everywhere.
Man, what would you say was the hardest unit that you had to do your time?
I think solitary confinement.
Which one?
The whole.
Yeah, the whole. Which one? Which solitary did you have to what was the hardest unit that you had to
I think it was Leavenworth. I was in a hole, inside of a hole. They had walls inside where you can't see across, so you're looking at you just in a cell like ADX.
Yeah, what does that do to let's just start with you. What does that do to your mind? Or how was your mind how did you set up your mind to get through that time? Because technically you do weeks, if not months in the hole.
Right.
For you yourself, how do you process? Because when all you're looking at is four walls, and when you look out maybe a window and all you see is another wall, what were things that you look forward to? How did you get through your day when you don't have a sense of time?
Sometime, they had a thing called DS, designated they take all your radio and stuff. And when they take your radio, you can't listen to the world. And just being in the hole, man, the shoe, it's called a shoe. You're away from population, and they take you through like a kangaroo court, and they give you more. They take some days from you, and they give you more time in the hole. But it's just like on top of having a life sentence, man, it's like walking, and they tell you don't stop walking. And you never know when you're gonna get out. Your date say deceased, and it's a hard thing to try to think about getting out when you don't have a date. It's like getting your arm cut off. You can't get that back. All the years they took out my life, I can't get that back. You start thinking about, your kids. You start thinking about your mom, your dad, and everybody. But at the end of the day, man, a life sentence is something that the average person can't deal with. They can't handle. I've seen a lot of crazy stuff, a lot of guys with life sentences. But at the end of the day, there's always somebody in worse shape than you. I had life in 5. I know dudes had 10 lives and 10 lives, 15 lives. I just seen it all, man. But for me to keep my mind and my sanity, I started, really get into the religious part of life.
How early, or how quickly after, let's just say 27, did you have that to kind of cope with religion?
Well, actually, I was wanted to beat up all the Christians and kill them because they testified on me at court, and they came in court and said they had got saved in the county jail, and I was mad at the Christians for a long time, and then I became one.
Wow. Why not Muslim, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, one of the reasons I'm not a Muslim is because they teach you the religions, but they don't teach you the economical part. If I'm a Muslim and I own a gas station, my brother's supposed to have a gas station. They don't teach our brothers that's Muslims the economical part. They got all the oil in the Middle East, and none of the brothers in the United States got a oil can. So if they gave us oil, by the time we get it to the United States, we'd be sold it anyway. I'm not saying that I'm economical or greedy, but that's a part of their religion that they don't teach the blacks in the United States.
That's right. To have a life plus 5, did you have hope ever of getting out? Like, did you ever have like an inkling of hope, or were you fighting appeals? Were you going on for parole? Did you have any hope that you'll, be able to be here, see the light?
I'm glad you asked that, because hope is not faith. Hope is hope. I had hope. Yeah, I had hope that one day I was going to get out, but feds had the smartest people in the world in there, but I didn't hang with the dumbest. I knew all the guys the Murdochs, the guys that really was taking real money, and they was in jail with me, and they didn't have much as time as I had. Yeah. So how is it so important that you give all the black drug dealers thousands of years, and you get these dudes that messing people retirement funds and Wall Street, and you don't get them no time? Yeah. Am I in the wrong business?
Come on. Prison is meant to, or do you feel prison is set up to rehabilitate, or is it meant to create monsters?
I don't really like to give prison something to say that, but prison is a college for us.
That's real.
Yeah. I learned about one of the most powerful live areas in the world was Timbuktu. Yeah. Europeans had never been over there. They never let them in there. But, I learned a lot about, some of our warriors, some of the ones from the United States, South Africa, and America. I learned about Hannibal, a lot of those war generals. And when you in prison, you are actually training to be, into the military because you got outnumbered. We all outnumbered. Everybody in prison don't like blacks. So you got to be trained, and you got to stay trained, and you got to be ready at all times because our back against the wall.
Yeah, I've always heard, and I've seen most people who are in prison are so much more well-read than the common man walking out. especially the black individual, as far as the amount of education you could teach yourself, just kind of, having that much time. But they do say, of course, you're locked in there with monsters, people who've committed, just the most heinous crimes. Normally, this is more state than feds, but the feds have some situation like that too. From your 33 years, and again, just one of those stories, can you speak on something that even you just couldn't believe you saw while you was in there?
One day I was in a hole and I kept seeing the COs walk to the side of the hole, the building, and they would take a guy's food over there. And I was wondering who was the guy. And come to find out his name was Silverstein. He was one of the most dangerous prisoners in the United States, prisoners. And they housed him around the corner on the side of the hole. And it was a special cell built for him. But I didn't know that he was there until you hear about it, but you never see him. And they say he's the most dangerous prisoner in the United States.
What was his crime?
I think he killed some officers or something like that. I think he was like some kind of gang. He was something like that.
Did you yourself have to defend your life? And if so, how many times? It was,
you got to defend your life every day in prison.
Every. Did you they say normally if you have, because we speak to some people with these prison stories, and some of them, man, they're having 50, 100 fights in there. Some go without fighting at all. Some use their brain. For you, just being affiliated with the Crips in there, was it expected that you're like, nah, you got to get down?
Well, your reputation, they seize your character. I grew up in South Central Los Angeles. I know majority of all the knockout artists. So if you really know how to, knock people out or whatever you do, that's what Crips is really known for back in the days of knocking dudes out with one punch. So when you get into it with dudes from all around the country, that don't apply because dudes all around the country box. DC, Philly, they got boxing gyms. But LA, we did a lot of street fighting. And, we really just try to knock you out with one punch.
How many fights would you say you had to have if you were to put a number to?
Well, I'm 60 years old and I'm 60-0.
Oh, man. Yeah. I talked to
well, I had a lot of fights, man.
Yeah, no. It's typically, we ask this question: Are the fights normally? Are they arranged? Are they orchestrated to where like, hey, this person have an issue with you? Y'all got to handle that. Y'all can go over here and handle it. Was it more so like, you at chow and then some kick off and boom, boom, boom. Now we all in the hole.
It can be from a range of things, but it's like this here, right? People in there losing their girlfriends and their family, and you don't want to fight a guy that just got off the phone with somebody that just told him it's over. So you be fighting him and the devil. So you just want to stay away from all that. So a lot of times in prison it's serious. You got the guys harsh play and stuff like that, but I like to stay away from cussing because cussing is one step away from fighting. So I don't like people to cuss me, and I don't cuss people. So like right now, I hear these young dudes, they dead homies, and, they on a lot of, the talk, but, in prison, you don't talk a lot.
That's facts. When it comes to, they say everybody has to serve their time differently. When you go in there, they say, prison somewhere where you don't really get in other people's business. You kind of mind your own. Is that technically something you applied yourself, or is it somewhere you like, nah, if something's going on, especially being affiliated, you have to jump in and, resolve it, or did you just say, hey, that's on them, even if it's somebody who's another Crip? You leave them to their own affiliation, their own situations? Well,
I'm going to tell you like this. We're going to cut this. Maybe we can do another series another day, but this is the deal. If you discipline yourself, you don't get disciplined.
Man, that's as real as it gets. That's as real as it gets. That's as real as it gets. Simple enough. Now, that's as real as it gets. Now, oh, no, they didn't both step outside for a second.
Oh, okay.
Now, one of the fears that people on the outside look at prison, they always say, hey, prisoners you know, men, there's no women in there. Men are just violating other men. It's just, things are just going left. How true, especially what you getting out in 2023 compared to when you went in 91, doing 33 years, how true is that as far as if you come in there, you green to the whole situation, most likely you're going to get violated. Back then versus in 2023.
Nah, that stuff don't happen like that. You know, you got a thing called hands-off policy. You got dudes indulging that stuff, but I can see somebody dead on the floor. It don't bother me. I just don't get it. You know, birds of a feather flock together, man. I don't hang with type of stuff like that. I don't deal with stuff like that. And at the end of the day, man, it's there. You know, in California, you have a thing called conjugal visits. They don't have them in the feds. So you just don't surround yourself. There's 3 things they told me when I went to the penitentiary. They said, don't mess with them punks. Do not mess with that TV, and don't gamble on your ass. And I lived by those 3, and that's how I got out of prison.
Your wife, how did she do the time with you?
Oh, I got divorced after a while. After about, I could say a good 10 years.
Did she try to stay with it, or did you let her just?
Well, I tried. We tried a little bit of everything, you know, but you're not going to keep a wife in federal prison with a life sentence. No, you know, it's not going to work. Yeah, it's not going to happen. You got to have a superwoman, man. I done seen it happen though.
With a life sentence?
Yeah.
Going in with a wife.
Yeah, I've seen it happen, but you know, I don't really know. Like, I don't really know the size, but I know it didn't happen. I know that women have a way of doing things, you know, just like men do.
Did you have any losses while you were in there as far as losing? Yeah,
I lost my brother. I lost a nephew, and I lost a lot of, you know, my brother, one of my oldest brothers that raised me.
Okay.
Keith Fisher. His name was Keith Fisher.
Even that alone, like getting that news and knowing you don't have the ability to do anything about it. How do you process, you know, getting news like that and still having to be in there, still having to wake up the next day? Or were you so, I guess you say the word institutionalized, to where you almost, not saying expect it, but you know how to deal with it while you're in there?
Well, you know, the thing is, man, one day you walk in the yard and you hear your name over the loudspeaker. And they might say, you know, Ronald Fisher will report to the chaplain's office. And, you know, you like, I wonder what is that about? Because they don't call you to the chaplain for anything. So you get that call, man, and or they'll come to the unit and tell you. And now you want to know, how did it happen? So you go to the chapel, they give you a phone call. Then your mom, then your family tell you, you know, your brother was killed. And then one of the most difficult things in the world is you can't go to the funeral. You know what I'm saying? I never met nobody went, you know, you can go. Some people got the money to do it. But after you lost your family member, then, you know, the war deny your funeral arrangements and everything, because it's a certain time, you got to hire escort and all that. That don't do nothing but put a 10 on a 2. And I know, you know what I'm talking about. We lost a family member. You know, I want to send my condolences out to your family and stuff like that. But I didn't see dudes lose 3-4 family members, you know, and then it's a big thing when one day you see a dude that you look up to, a dude that is a role model, a dude that's strong, and you see him crying, and you be like, you know, the word spread around, hey man, you know, big such and such, mom died. Some guys lose it. You know what I'm saying? They got to be put in a cell, you know. Yeah. They got to be isolated. But, you know, some people lose their kids. Some people lose their whole families. And it's just the thing that you don't want to be in prison and lose a loved one that was financially taking care of you. You feel me? So if that person was financially taking care of you, where you going to get your money from them? You feel me? So, not only that you can't go to the funeral, you know, the whole family is in an uproar because, you know, mama was mama. Yeah. You know, and that's the patriarch of the family. And that's the one that everybody loved. And that's the one that went out the way for you to come see you, went out the way from you, from that, all the way from you born to now. And that's the one you really love. And that's the one you never want any hurt to come to her. Because I remember when Tupac was singing the song, you know, Dear Mama, I really felt it. And now I see that, you know, mama, sometimes mamas go a little bit off, but that's still your mama. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we have a thing called, you know, wisdom is female and male. But why is it female and male? Because if you grow up without a father, you don't get the wisdom on your father's side. You just get it on your mother. Man, a woman can't raise a man. A man got to only be a man when he see a man. And when you lose mama, man, it's different than losing a father because a lot of them don't even have fathers. You know, they haven't seen them. So when you lose mama, man, I think that it really make you really reset your life, and it make you want to please mama from, it says, honor mother and father, right? But now after she passed, you still want to honor her because she looking down on you. You know, my mother's still alive, but at the end of the day, I lost a person that was real dear to me and always been dear to me. And every time I would call, he would say, hey, bro, what's going on? You know, he just knew I just knew he was there. He'd been there since his elementary school. He used to go buy me tennis shoes because I was a pretty good athlete. Yeah. And I'd miss that. And every time I used to call him, he said, man, what prison you in? You know, he used to pat me up, you know what I'm saying? And when I lost him, man, the way he died, it was from gangs, misidentity. So it kind of like hurt me even worse because he tried to keep me away from gangs. And the same thing that he tried to keep me away from, he ended up losing his life, being identified as something that he wasn't. So I didn't want to get out of prison and start hurting people. I wanted to get out of prison and know that my brother wouldn't want me to do that. He wanted me to help the children, help the youth. So that's what I'm doing. Me and my brother, my pastor brother over there, and some of the brothers. That's what we trying to do, and we want to help the youth. And you know, much is given, as much is required. I got a second chance. And that's what I want to do with the rest of my life, help the children and be able to be there for them because, you know, that's all we got. Yeah. And I really want to do that.
Yeah, thank you, man. No, that's so important. And thank you for telling that because I think one thing that people don't know is how important it is to have somebody on the outside to just be checking up on you. So if you don't mind, as we close this out, can you let people know how important it is when they do receive them phone calls from jail, how sometimes they're maybe a little bit too busy to answer them or they may not have the money, but how important it is just to have just a quick conversation as what y'all are dealing with in there. Someone, of course, they might be dealing with someone on the outside, but how important it is just to at least have that connection, at least to last maybe another week, another month or whatever it is to get them over.
You know, I'm glad you asked that question. You know, I don't really know you that good, but as we've been talking here, I feel I don't mind, you know. I see a lot of these guys, man, they be putting on the dead homies. They got homeboy, they love their homies. But when the last time you sent them some money? I see those dudes wrestling with my guys talking about different hoods and his name. When the last time you sent them some money? When the last time you went by their mother house and say, this is for little Dirk. I was in jail with little Dirk's dad. You know what I'm saying? And When the last time you did something with somebody in prison? When the last time you did something for their kids? You always say that's your homie. But when you get incarcerated, they forget about you. They use your name. Your name open up doors all through the hood. But you ain't sent them a dime. You know what I'm saying? So all of these guys running around talking about they tough and they want to be this and that. Send your homie some money. You want to convince me? Send them some money. Go up there and see them. Take their mother up there to see them. Man, it's people, they don't, I ain't getting visits like that up there. So when you put your life on the line for these gangs, is they gonna look out for you when you gone? When you catch that big one, that elbow, and you get that life sentence, is they gonna help you pay your lawyer? Is they gonna give you some money when you get up there? See, that's when dudes, I just was glad that when I did call home, it was somebody there that was there for me, that gave me the right information. Yeah. The right thing to use to my advantage to live in prison until I get out. And I think I'm just glad my mom was proud of me because I didn't turn Muslim. Oh. You know what I'm saying? So she said, your brother Muslim, but I got my money is for Jesus. I'm going to send Jesus. The money I get, it come from Jesus. So I'm going to send it to you because you're a Christian. You on some cool stuff. But I ain't got no money for the Muslims. And that was my brother, but.
Your brother was locked up too?
Yeah. Oh, a couple brothers have been in prison. My brother Lil Fish, he did 30 years in state prison. Now he had 99 aggravated. You can look him up. His name Tommy. But I got an uncle in jail right now. He in the state with life, Texas.
Ron, as we do these episodes, we always try to leave somebody with, like you said, these YNs, as they call them, is out here, they're taking penitentiary chances. They might not understand exactly the chances they're taking. That's why we tell these stories, so they can know kind of an insight of what's going on the other side, so they can hopefully prevent themselves to even have to go through it. I know some people say the penitentiary did make them a better man as far as the path they were on. Serving 5-10 years, it made them go a certain way. But technically, we want to give them some words of encouragement, or either really just words of caution of what they are looking forward to losing if they have to do a sit down, especially get a life sentence. So if you don't mind speaking to the young youth out there as far as, what they need to stay away from.
What if I tell you that I know the solution to the black man problems in our community? Me and a guy named Jeff, my brother Petit, Kunta, we have an organization that we're starting. I think we have the inside information to help a lot of these brothers. Like I said, much is given, much is required. We have organizations in Fort Worth. We have organizations in Los Angeles. But we are starting an organization. And I think that we have the keys, the knowledge, the wisdom, and the understanding to help these brothers. Because what I got, I'm just trying to be able to use it and stop a lot of these brothers that going to prison and before they go. You know what I'm saying? Because if we can stop, some of these brothers from going to prison and let them know that we love them. See, it's all about love, man. In the United States, it's no process for a black man when he become a man. In Africa, we got circumcised at 13. Yeah. So we was in the hut with no anesthesia, and it was 50 of us, and that's pain. Yeah. In America, we get circumcised when we're born. Yeah. So there's no pain. We haven't went through anything. Just because you go to prison and just because you have a baby don't mean you're a man. It's something you got to know in order for it to trigger you to become a man, because it's not a process in the United States. And that's what me and Kunta and all us, we know the process. We got the information. We got the knowledge. I got 50 years in the gangbanging, right? And I think I am a gang cultural specialist. And we're going to try to, we went to talk to this lady, Miss Green, the other day. What is she, city councilman, Miss Green? And she said that they was going to help us. Peoples, Miss Peoples. And she said they was going to help us. But I got an organization that we're going to start, and we already following the paperwork. And I guarantee that we turn out some brilliant young men, some entrepreneurs, and some guys. See, if you don't teach your son a trade, you might as well teach him how to rob and steal. Feel me?
He's a fact.
So we gonna teach him a trade.
There you go. And I'm just curious, now that you said that with being 50 years, when you see a young 15-year-old holding a pistol, throwing up, all kind of gang signs, for your years that you put in, when you see that on social media, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
It comes to my mind as, young guy, want to get a reputation. He don't have a trust fund. He don't have a college fund. He don't have a retirement fund. Yeah. See, we can turn this generation around.
It could be.
See, you know what I'm saying? So when I see a young dude that's like you described, I think he need a hug. I think he need to rub shoulders, elbows with the guys that didn't been where he's going. Yeah. Because I know my past and I know my future. Yeah. And I see these young guys, there's thousands of them, bro. I see them all the time when I'm in the community. And I have a love for them. Yeah. And I think that if I had to go back to the years that he was 15, I was throwing a baseball 80 miles an hour. I was an athlete. We can play all the sports, but we not teaching them base level no more. So these guys is learning gangs and cussing before they even learn how to swing a bat. And that's what I want to teach them.
All right, so once again, man, and of course, we do this thing called Prison Stories 101. Appreciate you for speaking on that. And again, for the outreach, we probably going to put something in the description for people to have to reach out.
Yes, sir.
Because I know young men are probably going to watch this and say, I wonder what he's speaking on. I want to learn more about that. But I got to say it, 33 years ain't nothing to just throw a ball at, man. You did your time. You out in society. Hopefully this episode 1, hopefully have you back. But we got to say it, man. Prison Stories 101. General, salute. Appreciate it.